Do you know why they call me Mr. Nice Slasher, Mrs. Matthews? Mrs. Matthews looks at him curiously and spoke. Because you kill people who aren't nice and respectful, Mr. Green. Mr. Green shouted at her with a twisted smile on his face. Because I'm always nice. His raspy Irish voice startles her as he grabs a knife on the table and stuck it between his fingers. Mrs. Matthews stumbles back as she shouted at him, "You weren't nice to those people you killed. How many was it? 300? This year alone? You're the world's most dangerous and twisted serial killer ever, and you don't use guns or bombs. So what everyone wants to know is how do you kill?" Mr. Green looked at her with excitement. "That was rude. I'm here being nice and cheerful, and you're here being a real disrespectful bitch. It is a special occasion after all." Mrs. Matthews looked at him confused as she's backing away further. As she said, "What do you mean a special occasion, Mr. Green?" Mr. Green walked over to her, closer, and chuckled at each step. "It's the day that I escaped. But first," Mr. Green swung the rusty knife and slit the woman's throat as he watched the woman's life going away slowly. Staring deep into her eyes, something in him clicked. He became even more insane, even killing people that were nice. He made excuses, saying the way they dressed isn't nice enough. But how this happened, let me show you. There's a secret prison in the desert of New Mexico designed to prison the most dangerous criminals. Mr. Green was the first one in his cell. He was starved for days. The doctors kept giving him weird shots, medicines. It made him weak and sick over time. His feet and body began to turn monstrous. Even Mr. Green was secretly planning a way to escape, but something told him to wait till the time comes. They always act nice to him because they don't want him to flip out or kill them. In his cell, he starts digging a hole so he could use the pile of dirt as a bed and a pillow. But one day, he discovers a strange old carving knife with the words written on the blade in some unknown language that read "Shalom mi Krodal." Early in the morning, the guard saw Mr. Green sleeping on a pile of dirt. As he opens the electronic door and picks Mr. Green off the pile of dirt and laid him down on the ground and gave him a pillow and a bowl of soup. He then left, closing the electronic door behind him with an eye scanner he carries with him. Mr. Green then wakes up and sees the bowl of soup and ate it like a wild animal. He noticed the soft pillow on the ground and began to hold it as he laid down and rested his head on the pillow. The guard came back and saw him and felt sorry for Mr. Green. Then he noticed the strange carving knife as the guard smiled and walked away and began to sing a song. House of the rising sun by the animals we will see. In his cell, Mr. Green smiles so twistedly, hearing the song. 2 weeks had passed, and he's was nicer now than ever. He even got to help the guards with other prisoners. The same guard came to check on Mr. Green as he tapped on the metal door. "I have a present for you," he then spoke. "Mr. Green?" Mr. Green said, "What is it, buddy?" Mr. Green asked as he raised his straight up, towering over the guard. The guard looked at him with a smile on his face as he said the words that Mr. Green longed for. "An agent will be arriving soon to interrogate you, but she won't have time for it, does she?" He smiled and chuckled. Mr. Green smiled back. "Where will we be?" he asked. The guard said as he opened the electronic door. As he spoke to Mr. Green once again, "The rec room," as the guard started to walk away and disappeared into the darkness. Mr. Green closed his eyes as he opened them once more, as he found himself in the rec room and was sitting down in a chair in the middle of the room with a table. The room was silver with no windows. Everything was just walls, except for the door in front of him, as a blonde woman in a dark blue suit, wearing glasses and a mean look on her face. "Mr. Green?" asked as he tapped his leg up and down. "Is this the rec room?" The woman replied, "No, this hasn't been a rec room for months. Anyways, my name is Mrs. Matthews, and I will be questioning you for the next 3 hours. If you don't reply, you can still rot here for all I care, Mr. Green." Mr. Green looked at her and saw his freedom. Mr. Green said, "Do you know why they call me Mr. Nice Slasher?"